Good afternoon, everyone. Lesley Myrick here. I am an interior designer and associate coach with Quinn. Nancy Ganzik. I can't even say her name. Nancy Quinn used to be Nancy Ganzkoffer. She just got married.
You
Anyway,
gotta get a Z in there somewhere.
I got the Nancy. If she's gonna lose Ganzikoffer, I'm gonna start calling her Nancy. I won't
Nancy's
really.
a fun name.
Now that we're all derailed, today we are privileged to have the fantastic Peter and Alex from Daniel House Club. They are my preferred sourcing spot for my interior design business. I love working with them, and we're going to chat with them today about how their proactive communication really sets them apart from other places you buy stuff, for lack of a better term. We know there's a bajillion options out there, but I do think you guys are doing it differently. So we were talking right before we went on about how this proactive communication really was born on your end. So I'd love you to share a little bit about that as to why you are doing this, why you are being proactive, and what that looks like in your company.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump in just with an anecdote first, because when we started this in 2020, and Alex and I had been practicing as an interior design build firm together for about 5 years at that time, and we were frustrated with the communication with vendors.
Yeah.
It was really difficult to just get everything you needed to the job site, and really difficult to get people on the phone. And
Yeah.
We have a terrific third partner, Caleb, who's our CFO, and he really is not like your stereotypical CFO.
Yeah.
He's CFO and COO. But every once in a while there is something. So he was like, yeah, this phone line is really expensive. Do we need this? Alex and I are like, we must have the phone line. Like, it is critical that somebody in an emergency can pick up the phone and call us and talk to a being. And I mean, that's really what we've built the whole platform off. It's meant to be, someplace you don't have to interact with, but inevitably in this industry, you are going to have a problem and you do need somebody to hold your hand through it. So, from the beginning, support was really critical for us.
We have tried to build our whole ethos around not being a place you buy stuff, but being a partner in your business. Obviously, we do sell stuff, and if you buy it, that's great. But we want to actually be a resource for you, and have designers come. They can and do ask our concierges anything, even crazy stuff sometimes, and we try. But I think it works really well. And sorry, my internet cut out for about 10 seconds, so I missed exactly what Peter said. But
that was trash talk to you.
Oh, good. I don't want to be redundant. I was going to say the open order report, is part of this that we built as a way for designers to not really meet. Like, you shouldn't have to work on the vendors you're giving money to. That's kind of my ethos. It's like, which direction does the money flow? That's the way the customer service should flow, the opposite way.
Okay, back up for a second, Alex, and tell us a little bit about what is the open order report, because this is one of my favorite things about you guys being part of my team, and I love that you say that. You're not, and I was like, you just buy stuff from them. You're right. What you guys offer is so far beyond just a place to buy stuff online, and the service really is what sets it apart. So these open order reports are one of my favorite things. Every Wednesday in my inbox, I get an email. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. They are, I'll say what they are, and then I'll say why they are. They are a report that goes out every Wednesday, as long as you have open orders. Any Wednesday that you have an open order, you will get a spreadsheet that has every item you have ordered with us. It has the project you ordered it for. It has the item name, the vendor name. It has the estimated ship date originally. It has changes if there's an estimated ship date. It has tracking number. And it allows you to get in contact with us instantly. You just reply to it if there are any issues. But it is just a way for you not to need to make a spreadsheet or keep a separate filter in your inbox just for orders that you're going to sift through next month when you get to it. It's all there, collated, super easy. And we did that for a lot of reasons. One is the partner ethos, but I actually really remember pretty distinctly in our first year. It was when COVID was going on. I had this person. I was customer service at the time. We all were. And you can still talk to me if you want to. We were talking to this woman who had ordered a dresser like 6 months ago, not with us. And she's like, I've been trying to get a hold of, I won't say the name of the company, forever. Nobody replies to me. Honestly, don't even remember what this thing looks like. And I can't figure out where it is. And I was like, oh, that's a unique problem. But actually, it's not that. COVID made it worse. But the problem actually exists all the time. So we just wanted to make it really easy where you don't have to reach out to us. It's there. We're always really easy to reach out to if you want to, but the information's at your fingertips.
Yeah. And I would just add, there's a couple more pieces of information. Maybe Alex did say them and I blacked out, but I find it really helpful. Like, it tells me the type of shipping I chose for each piece too, and who the carrier is, which just I find great, because you get these phone calls from shippers that are like, we're coming with your order.
Yes.
And like, I have no idea what that order is. And getting a shipper to have any knowledge about that, they're usually like, oh, it's like 4 boxes. Like, 4 boxes of what? No idea.
Yeah. Like, do you not understand that we place multiple orders all the time as designers and have all these balls to juggle? Yeah. Oh, the box I ordered. Perfect. That's what I'm waiting for. Like,
take 4 of those.
Yeah.
So I can refer to this and figure out, oh, it's Sunbelt Express calling me, or it's Metropolitan calling me. It's usually going to be Metropolitan. And here's my order number. And so I immediately can pull that up and have the information at my fingertips, instead of being like, I don't know what the order number is. I have no idea what this is, which is my general state of being. So very.
I just remembered another thing we did, and now I forget the details because it was carrier specific, so it's hard to make it perfect. But instead of just putting order numbers on the side of the box, we tried to, as a side mark, we try to include, as long as carriers will allow us, the first part of the name of the product. So the carrier can actually look at the label and say, oh, it's this. And the designer has any clue what that is, rather than order 10567.
You're adding that human element to this, where it's like, I don't know what order 1657 is, but I do know, like, Odette table lamp. Yep, I got that for X client, and I'm expecting that. So thank you.
Yes, and I like to give behind the scenes stuff. If that doesn't happen, it's probably not a malicious thing. We're not trying to annoy you. Carriers are very different on how they allow information to be printed. So we try.
I agree.
Yeah. So I know we started with the concierge. I always like to talk about our concierge service. It's now a team of 4 people that are, sort of the direct frontline people, and then they're supported by a big team behind them. But all of them have like long-standing industry experience. Many of them have been interior designers themselves, which I think is incredibly helpful, because they're very sympathetic when you call and you're like, hey, what's happened? And they're like, oh yeah, I've been there before. That is a horrible experience, and we want you to get out of that experience as quickly as possible. And we want to be the ones who helped you get out of it. So they're very proactive in that way.
And I love that they are humans. I'm all for the AI. I think there's so much that tech can be doing for us, but there is nothing worse than when you're having a problem and you go to whatever company you ordered from, and it's like, blah, blah, chatbot here. How can I help? And it's such a way, like, it's infuriating. Like, it makes me want to throw my computer across the room. Whereas I know when I reach out to you, there's going to be a human on the other end who will actually say something human to me and not give me some crappy bot response. And that's, because I love the AI thing, and I see how it's like, I'm sure that there's not someone generating each of those spreadsheets every week. I'm sure there's something happening behind the scenes there for you. But the fact that you can, like you said, pick up the phone and call a human or send an email and know that someone will actually get back to you. I don't think I've ever had an email go unanswered from your team, ever.
Oh, good.
That is good.
Actually, that's a great way I could talk about her proactive. We check those numbers like every single week, like how we're responding and our average response time and our numbers. And it's not to be like annoying to our concierges. It's to check to make sure we don't have process gaps. And we have caught that before. We're like, oh, there's a weird automation was set up incorrectly, therefore nobody's been replied to. But because we do it every week, we can
catch mistakes,
catch that really fast. So that just happened last week. I'm always happy to admit our mistakes. Everybody has them. There was an error, a new error arose in our membership process. So new members weren't getting marked completely through the process. Therefore, they weren't getting their handwritten welcome letter from Peter. They weren't complete visibility into the site. They got partial. And we're like, what is happening? One week we only had 4 members. I'm like, this is not new members. I'm like, this is not right.
I do have to say it greatly helped like my carpal tunnel syndrome. My hands felt great that week. But then the next week there were like 125 new members because of this gap. And so I wrote 125 handwritten cards and I was exhausted.
And then complaining about his numb hands. Nobody cares, Peter.
We care about the letters, and truly, like, I know it's cheesy, but like, that's the title of this episode, how it sets you apart. And I do think those are the kind of things that do set you apart. You're humans that care about designers. And I cannot believe how many vendors I have ordered from directly that they don't even seem to like me. Like, they're not out to help me. They're not
angry
out to help the little guy.
Yeah.
They're annoyed you reach out to them and have questions. You're like, I'm just trying to give you money and order your product. This is commerce. This is business. I don't see the issue here, but okay.
I won't name any names, but I will tell you a large amount of our vendors tell us they are happy to send their designer business to us.
I can imagine this is much easier. It's a win-win with you guys playing middleman, and not middleman in a bad way. Just everyone gets the contact person at Daniel House that knows what they're doing to make it faster for everybody.
Yeah, that actually would segue us well into our next point about vendors, but I did want to hang on to one more thing that we're in. We're kind of in the brainstorming process of more and more human-like things that we can, not human-like, actually human things that we can do to talk to our members more frequently. So, sorry to the people who joined Daniel House Club in January and February because they won't get this. But starting next month, we're initiating something that one of our sales people thought up, which I think is very cute. It's we're sending out birthday cards, but they're birthday cards. It's based on when you club. So it's your
Daniel House birthday. It's cute.
Your club birthday, and people will get as if it's from their like cheap grandma. They will get a little birthday buck inside. It's not of great value, but it's just use this to spend on yourself. And I'm finding we're sending out more and more ways that you can accumulate some decent perks for yourself. And so
I just did the math, in your first 90 days, if you go through our whole checklist and getting started checklist, you can make almost $750. We should cut that back.
It's a win-win. I love that you do that, because that's something that Nancy and I teach in our coaching program is like, call past clients, reach out to them, send them a little gift card, let them know you're thinking about them. There's just little ways to keep in touch with people that you already have that relationship with that strengthens everything. And we as business owners, I think, spend so much time and focus and energy on getting the new clients in the door. And once they're there, it's easy to drop the ball and not take great care of them. And the fact that you're being intentional about nurturing the designers that are already in your world, I mean, that's huge. Like I said, there's so many vendors where I feel forgotten about, or they can't be bothered to help me give them money.
Yeah.
So there's a reason I've pivoted the majority of my purchasing your way, because it is such a difference to have that human team member that is responsive and knows their stuff. I'm happy to let you guys be the experts at procurement. I don't want to do it. It's a pain.
Yeah. So I would say we're very understanding of the designer who wants to go and open their direct accounts with vendors and finds that that's the process for them.
Yeah.
I think, though, that we are a really great advocate for people who have placed orders that may become damaged and it's the vendor's fault. I mean, we have a lot more weight at this point to I would say when we do. I mean, we also work to be our vendor's favorite partner, so we're very fair. But if if we know that something is a vendor error, we are going to go advocate for our client and make sure that they get what they were supposed to get and in the condition they were supposed to get it. And I think both the vendor and the client really appreciate that.
Actually, another story, wrapping things up, I guess, is we just had this. A customer ordered a COM order through Bernhardt, for Bernhardt through us. I actually don't know why it took 7 months, but it did. And Bernhardt put the wrong fabric on it. Horrible.
Cool.
Would never want that. Customer freaked out, as you would.
I would say,
I would too. Started sending emails and calls and trying to set up video calls, and but with the intention of like, I have to be angry to fix this.
Yeah.
And, our concierge was like, very sorry, but we also got this, and we started advocating with Bernhardt right away and figured out the source of the problem and put in action to get a new one before they had actually gone down the whole road of freaking out. Like, we're gonna figure this out. One notification, we're gonna work on it. You don't have to be angry to get what you want. Although I totally understand being angry at that. I don't want to say don't be upset with that.
I think from my own experience, the anger and the frustration comes from when you're not being listened to, when you're not being heard and you feel dismissed. And that's why I appreciate you, because I know that you and like you guys in your team, you understand what it's like to be that designer who's just like, oh, I've just bought this sofa. It took 7 months and it's raw. Like you're feeling all the feels and it all comes out. So I kind of like that you're that middleman buffer too, that you can strongly advocate, but be kind and preserve the relationship in all directions. And that's a huge asset.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I learned something new too.
Teamwork.
Perfect.
I always forget that every time I stay home on a Thursday, the gardener comes and blows leaves. Are you guys hearing that?
A little bit, but that's okay. We're wrapping up anyway.
Okay.
Any final thoughts either of you want to share about Daniel House and your communication style?
I did want to say one more thing on the vendor end, and hopefully, we've seen this slow down a little bit, but last year a lot of vendors were going out of business. The designers couldn't get their stuff, they couldn't get their money back. We had one big vendor go out of business. We had 27 open orders with them, and we helped all our clients pick something new and save themselves from a major problem. So I think that's another way. Well, of course, we don't want that to happen, but that's another way that we've been able to help people and communicate with both sides. The last thing I wanted to say is we have a number of, we really like to do in-person communication. So we have a number of cool things that we're doing this year. One of them, Lesley, is with you and Nancy
at High Point.
Yeah, we are going to be at the Dovetail showroom on Sunday of High Point Market this spring. I think it's at 4 p.m. We are going to be talking with a panel of coaches. We're calling it Coaches and Cocktails. So just in the planning stages, but want everybody to know, come hang out with us.
Yes, it's going to be good.
Yeah, and then Daniel House Club is actually going to have a large outdoor booth in partnership with a designer slash business coach that we work with called Stacy Cohen. She's based out of Toronto, and it'll be outside of Showplace. It's like coffee and cocktails and just a hang place. And a number of our vendors are sponsoring that. So I think
fabulous.
Yeah. And then we are working to do more little in-person roundtable gatherings around the country. So, and we do those, we host them with, really great Daniel House Club clients. So if you are in a region that we haven't visited and you would like to be a host in partnership with us, just reach out to the concierge because we want to have some fun with you. So
love it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll end by saying we'll see you there. You have to come.
Yeah. See you at High Point. And in the meantime, danielhouse.club. That's correct, right? I'm going to make sure I actually say the right address.
Yes.
Go check them out. There's a free account, a free tier you can get started with. So go see what they're all about. Contact them, talk to them. You're going to talk to humans and they're such a huge asset to your design team. So thank you guys. It's always great to talk with you, and we'll see you next month. And then after that, it will be High Point.
Party.
Thanks, Lesley. Good to see you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.